Am I the a-hole for being mad about my nephew beat cancer? Edit. I'm not sure about giving this edit at first, but some people miss the point about them ignoring him. The ignore is them not talking to my son at ALL after the quick 2 minutes happy celebration they gave to him. They didn't make any eye contact with him. It makes it nervous to talk first, as they acted like he's not there. If you ask, why didn't I start the conversation and instead go quiet? I was sad my son only got 2 minutes attention, a hand and back rub. That's it. I was too busy with my thought and I don't know. They seemed so happy. I just couldn't bring the topic about my son into them. And it is not like I don't let them to be happy and celebrated what my nephew deserves. They already did to celebration before they came to visit. A celebration for achieving remission and celebration for the bell rang. The documentations are there on the family chat group. I congratulate them, and I'm happy for them. When my nephew first diagnosed, my sister asked me a lot of questions. The cancer type are different, and I'm very happy to answer and helping what I can. Was it too much if I expected that dinner to be my son's turn to get the attention, recognition, and love? Lastly, many of you assumed it is a jealousy, because my nephew is now in remission, but my son has not. It is one factor, but what I feel isn't really about the cancer or jealousy of his remission. Rather, it is the sadness because my son wanted to build a relationship with my parents, my siblings, and his cousins. They only met each other in person twice. They don't have the strongest bond, but my son loved them dearly. It is a sadness because that desire is not achieved. I understand we are far away. They are closer. And of course, they are already comfortable with each other and know each other so well. But we just want to try. My son just wants to try. That's pathetic when I know that they don't have any effort to be closer to us. But I still hope they will shower my son with love that he actually deserves to get. My son recently discharged from a long hospital stay 35 months. He was having emergency heart surgery due to ruptured aortic dissection, rare occurrence in children. They were actually kind of shocked when they found out what's going on. The surgery was 15 hours long because he was bleeding all night long. Almost died. He had bleeding disorder, also extremely low platelet at the time, and the recovery was very tough. He got infection back to back, sepsis to septic shock and other problems, almost died again, put him on ECMO and ventilator, and stayed in the ICU from post-surgery day to 2 weeks before discharge. In another hand, one of nephew recently kicked cancer $1. We are so proud and grateful, even though it doesn't mean it's all over, but we are happy with this news. As info, my son is also battling cancer. It's been for years, and he's not in remission yet, not a sinky time. And we probably would never. He's still on the battle. Last night, we were out for dinner together. There was me, my son, my husband, all my family members. They just arrived the night before from my home country. It is a holiday time for schoolers there, so that was our first dinner together. I brought up about my son just been discharged recently after facing a big battle. That was how I phrase it. They were so happy, and my son as well. He's still weak, in pain here and there, but he's overall stable, so he can be with us. Then, my sister suddenly said, and my nephew just beat cancer, and clapping her hands. My family turned away from my son so fast. Congratulate them. I don't know. I'm happy for them, for my nephew, but I just sad. I can see my son forced his smile seeing them. I just hurt. I probably a bad person. It is not really about the attention. I don't know how to explain. I hope any of you understand. I was quiet through the dinner, majority of the time. I barely smile. My parents noticed and they seemed not liking my behavior. I know them too well. They were talking about my nephew's cancer treatment in Singapore and their experience there. No one talked to my son. After dinner was over, my mom confronted me through texts, saying how can I have that kind of attitude? Why am I mad about my nephew beat cancer? I told her I wasn't. Apparently, I vomited my true feeling about the situation to her. She called me and I just don't like seeing my family being happy, and that I should grateful. At least my son isn't die. My sister blocked me, but my other siblings turned out beyond my side. Am I the a-hole for giving a fake name at Starbucks? Alright, so I 20 to male think this whole thing is ridiculous, but my GF21 female is really angry at me, so here we go. I don't like giving my real name at places like Starbucks and similar stores where they shout out your name when the order's ready. I can't tell you why. I have a normal, reasonably common name I like fine enough, but for some reason it majorly creeps me out when a barista shouts my name through a room full of strangers. I guess it's just some, at least to me, harmless quirk I have. So whenever I am at a store where they want your name, I say it's Tom. That's literally the name I use. Nothing inappropriate or outlandish, just plain Tom. I know I am meant when they call it, as I always use the same one, so there is no confusion or anything. They yell Tom. I get my drink, food, and it's never been a problem till now. A couple days ago I was at Starbucks with my new GF fan, ordered our drinks while she sat down. I gave them my fake name as always, and when our order was ready and they shouted Tom, I went and got it. My GF was a bit confused and asked me if I went and got someone else's order, which is fair enough, so I explained the thing to her and thought that's that. But she got really angry. She says it's really disrespectful to lie like that and that I am making everybody in the store out to be creeps who will do something bad if they know my name, which is not at all what's happening. I just don't like when they yell my real name, so I found a harmless way to get around that. But she can't see it like that. She thinks I am a pathological liar who is way too suspicious of everyone, and I need to stop. I really can't see the problem she has. It's really not that deep. I don't think I am hurting anyone, or am I? So, yet. I am really confused by her reaction and asking myself if I am the asshole. After all, for some reason I can't comprehend. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my partner for not helping at night with our newborn? I 21 female and my partner 21 male are first-time parents. He works around 8 hours a day in construction, while I'm a stay-at-home mom. We each have our own jobs, and so far it's been working 85% of the time. We decided early in the pregnancy that this was the plan because of how expensive and nerve-wracking childcare can be. But like all first-time parents, we'd had no idea what to expect with a baby and how postpartum would affect me. Our son is 3 weeks old and has a pretty good schedule at the moment. He wakes up every 3-ish hours for a bottle and diaper change, and my body is finally adjusting, so I'm handling it well until a surprise rough night happens. This is when our baby is more fussy than usual and scream cries, fights sleep, eats way more than normal, and just rebels against his usual routine. This is when my postpartum anger sets in. I get so angry because I'm tired, can't figure out what the baby needs from me, and I'm going through the motions. Meanwhile, my partner sleeps through everything. I wake him up numerous times saying please tag me out. I'm getting too angry to think straight. I need help. I don't know what's wrong. And he wakes for a second but goes back to sleep. However, the last bad night we had, I lost it and yelled at my partner. I was so angry I couldn't think, and my partner wouldn't wake up to help, so I yelled at him and woke him up out of a dead sleep. I instantly regretted it because he looked frightened, and after I said, I'd been asking you for help and you won't. I can't do this. I'm tagging out. He got angry. He called me a rude ass for yelling at him. Said, I'll just get up then with an attitude. And yelled at me because I went to go cry in the bathroom, saying, oh God, don't be like that. I'm not asking a lot. Just help on the bad nights and the moments that I need to tag out for safety. However, I feel guilty I got angry with him. I know we each have things we do for jobs and his isn't easy either. So, am I the a-hole for getting angry and lashing out about the lack of help during bad nights? Am I the a-hole for not giving up my seat on the plane? Am I the a-hole for not giving up my seat on the 10-hour plane ride? So I, 25 female, went on a 10-hour plane ride out of the country around a week ago. I booked the aisle seat because I don't like having to climb over people to go to the restroom. We're about to take off when a mother of I think a 9 or so year old comes up to me and asks if we can switch seats. She had a middle seat. I told her no, and IP liked it for a reason. She got very mad and started yelling, and her kid was crying. I just put in my headphones and didn't gaff. When the plane landing, I got nasty comments and was called a horrible person and an asshole. So was I the a-hole? Edit. Just answering some common questions. The kid was sitting close to or next to his mom from what I could see. I had an empty seat next me, where I assumed th kid would have sat. And I am sorry about the explanation points Folkselmau. AITA for refusing to go on a family trip because I feel that my boundaries were not being respected. For context, I 30 male was invited to a family trip by my brother 30 for male, with my mom 60 to female, my uncle 58 male, and to cousins 30 male and 33 female. Everyone mentioned in this trip has a significant other except for me and my mom, who is a widower. When planning the trip and picking the house, my brother indicated that my mom and I would have to share a room. I let them know that I am not comfortable with this for two reasons. 1. My mom is a 62-year-old woman who deserves her own space and should not have to share with anyone. And 2. I am a 30-year-old adult man who should have his own room. I even offered to pay the difference with regard to a bigger Airbnb. My brother and his wife then got all huffy and puffy saying they would share the room with my mom and that you don't need your own room, you're single, and are being selfish, and offered to share the room with my mom and I would take theirs. Now I don't want to speak for my mom, but she is too nice to stand up for herself in these contexts. I have spoken to her and know how she feels. However, she just said that she is okay with that arrangement to make my brother happy. The truth is, she told me that it makes her feel like an afterthought and that after losing my dad she feels like she is treated as less important or valuable due to stuff like this. This is not the first time my brother has tried to pull something like this. She told me made her feel like he or anyone else in the family did not really care about her to even consider giving her her own space. She was also upset that nobody else was asked to share the double room to queen beds. For context, she is my uncle's older sibling, the oldest in my family, and feels like my cousins and uncle always treat her like less, and nobody else will be sharing a room except their spouses or kids. I just feel like we should all have our own rooms and they should all be equal. I don't want to have to share a room just because I am single. While my brother basically rolls out the red carpet to everyone else, giving my cousin the master bedroom even though my brother is planning the trip, or force my mom to have to do the same thing. When I offered to just not come, since it would solve all the problems, they got all huffy and puffy again, calling me dramatic and saying I am disrespecting the family. So am I the a-hole here?